These errant desires can originate from a number of different sources. They can be external through our physical senses, seeing certain images, movies, improper pictures, the internet, television, immodestly dressed persons, reading of lewd prose or literature, or hearing of suggestive or obscene stories. The possibilities are endless. And lustful thoughts can also generate internally as well through imaginings or desires that spring up in the mind, or when feelings and sensations of a sensual character arise in the body without our having voluntarily caused them. Often memories of past sins and prior rewarded temptations pollute and short circuit our thoughts. All right, so how does one little image or suggestive thought take root, develop, and advance eventually to a physical immoral act contrary to the will of God? How does this one seed grow to sinful behaviors such as masturbation, use of pornography, lurid fantasies, fornication, and perhaps even adultery? The process can be broken down into 3 steps or stages. They are 1, the presentation; 2, the enticement; 3, the decision, or the action of human will. So let's examine these 3 stages a little closer. 1. In the presentation, a wicked thought or an immoral sexual inclination of one kind or another is proposed to a person. 2. The second stage of the lustful temptation is enticement. This is the sensation of pleasure caused directly by the presentation. Now, what I'm about to say is most important. It's critical. The perception of pleasure or the feeling of delight associated with this enticement stage happens altogether without the fault of him who experiences it, because it occurs without the cooperation of will. Therefore, these first 2 stages of a lustful thought are not sinful. People often get tripped up by this stage, feeling that a sin has already been committed, so why stop now? Thus, for example, say you accidentally cast your eyes on a picture or object or person that causes thoughts or images of an impure nature to spring up in your mind. What is the immediate result? Without your being able to hinder it, no matter how hard you may try, you will feel an enchantment or a pleasurable sensation of lesser or greater intensity, possibly even to the extent of experiencing an arousal of your passions. But again, no sin has been committed, because this process up to this point is involuntary and outside of your control. Now, finally, the 3rd stage, the response. The action of will is decisive. If the will gives its approval and adheres to the evil suggested, then one is guilty of a transgression, an offense to God. However, if instead of allowing the allurements of the presentation and the enticement to conquer your will, you cooperate with God's grace and take a firm, resolute stance against them, you will triumph over the temptation and merit great virtue in the face of God, who watches closely your day-to-day responses to such tests. These lustful temptations may remain with you a long while. Pictures of the sinful object may dance before your eyes and haunt your imagination with great persistence. But if you refuse to dwell on such evil thoughts, and most importantly, do not carry out an action what is suggested to you by the temptation, you will store up for yourself great treasure in heaven, for the angels and saints in heaven rejoice and celebrate each battle won on earth by a human soul bombarded by evils of seduction.